Hey guys, this is about a few basics of grammar, even though grammar is not very important in spoken English. But here are a few concepts about which I would like to discuss very briefly. The first thing is the alphabet, the second thing is the sentence, and then come the phrase and the clause. Alright? Okay, here we go. All of you know that in the English alphabet has 26 letters, which are divided into 5 vowels and 21 consonants. The letters A, E, I, O, and U. IO for Telugu people. These are called vowels. And the rest of the letters, they are the consonants. Okay. Now, vowels, these are pronounced without any stricture in the vocal tract. Okay. Try uttering them. A sentence, basically, this is a group or combination of ideas, you know. And what are the ideas? The words, they are the ideas that give us a complete sentence. Now, each sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a full stop or a question mark or an exclamation mark. Here are a few examples. My country is India. So India is our motherland. Okay, and this has a full stop at the end, as you can see. Where do you study? Where belongs to the WH questions. Okay, so I'm going to discuss those in another presentation of mine. But here, where do you study? This ends with a question mark. Oh my God, where's my phone? Now, both these are sentences which end with an exclamation mark. So here we have three sentences, actually four, that have exemplified the usage of the enders of a sentence: full stop, question mark, and exclamation mark, respectively. Okay. Now, what are the parts of a sentence? There are basically two parts of a sentence: subject and predicate. Okay. The subject is a person or thing. Okay. uh, who or which does the action, or about whom or which we speak. For example, Abdullah is driving his car. Here, Abdullah is the subject who does the action of driving. Okay. And the rest of the part, that is, he's driving his car, is called the predicate. The birds are flying in the sky. Here, the birds, that's the subject that does the action of flying. So the predicate, what we speak, that is, say about the subject, is called the predicate. In other words, if you remove the subject, the remaining, that is the rest of the words, they form the predicate. Okay. Now here are a few examples of sentences, which clearly divide them into subject and predicate. The first sentence, we love our country. The second sentence, it says, I sleep daily at 10 p.m. The third sentence, it says, our English teacher teaches well. And the fourth sentence, it is, reading storybooks is my hobby. Now, note that we get subjects with one word and also subjects with more than one word. Okay. For example, in this set of sentences, the third and fourth examples, they have more than one subject. You know, it has more than one word in the subject. All right. Now, here's a small exercise for you guys and ladies out there. So write down the subjects and the predicates in the following sentences. Okay. So let me just solve the first thing for you guys. Now here, Abdul Rahim is the subject. Now, what are we talking about the subject? It says that Abdul Rahim has two sisters. So that is the predicate. So this is the subject, right? And okay, I think this should be easier tool for writing down words. Okay, but anyways, you're getting my point. And has two sisters is the, this is the predicate. So I'm just trying to. So you can please try solving the other sentences and divide them into subject and the predicate. Okay, moving on to the next slide. There are four types of sentences. The first one, it's called as declarative or assertive sentence. The second one, interrogative. The third one is imperative, and the fourth one is called as exclamative. So I've created a small acronym for this, DIE, right? So DAIIE, right? So declarative or assertive sentences, as you know, they clearly mean they make a statement or assertion. So these declare or assert statements, feelings, opinions, events, incidents, or anything. Now, these end with a period. These can be either affirmative, that is positive, or negative. So example of a declarative or assertive sentence is Almighty is the greatest, as all of you will certainly agree. Sentences that ask a question, these are called as interrogative sentences. For example, what's your favorite color? Okay, so my favorite color is white. I don't know what your favorite color is. Sentences that express a command, request, or entreaty are called imperative sentences. For example, be respectful towards others, or I give an order. Get up, sit down, right? So some sentences that express strong feelings, these are called as exclamatory sentences. How hard is this task? So this ends with an exclamatory mark, right, guys? And the emotion, if it is strong, you keep an exclamatory mark, and if the emotion is not strong enough, you use some other thing. For example, uh, alas, he is no more. So that emotion too is very strong. So there are certain other things. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. Okay, so both of these sentences are, they do have strong emotions, but if the emotion is a little bit weaker, you could probably use a comma instead of an exclamatory mark. Okay, moving on to the next slide. This is called as the phrase and the clause. Now, phrases and clauses are groups of words that act as a unit and perform a simple function in a sentence. Look at the group of the words in the side. Okay, even though it makes sense, it does not make complete sense. Okay, so such groups of words which make sense but not complete sense, these are called as phrases. Now, these are groups of words that may have a partial subject or verb but not both, or they may have neither a subject nor a verb. Phrases never have subjects doing the actions of verbs. Clauses are group of subjects that have a subject and a verb or a predicate. Okay. Now, phrases can be any combination of words that do not combine a subject and verb. There are many types of phrases, including noun phrases, verbal phrases, and prepositional phrases. Now, examples of noun phrases are the nice man, my worst enemy, groups of people. Here, this usually contains noun as the chief actor in the phrase. And examples of verbal phrases are, you guessed it right. Here, the chief actor is a verb. Waiting for the storms to stop, have been eating. These are examples of verbal phrases. Examples of prepositional phrases, that is, which follow a preposition, are after the rain, to the end of the tunnel, in the sea, etc. Okay. Clauses, there are two types: dependent and independent clauses. A dependent clause has both a subject and a verb, but is not a complete sentence by itself and does not express a complete thought. It is called dependent because of its dependence on something else. It can never stand on its own. That's why it's called as a dependent clause. Now, examples of these clauses are: when the teacher arrives, until the rain stops because I can't wait for him, which task I want to do next. One can see that not only do these clauses have a noun and a verb, but also additional words like subordinating conjunction, that is because, or a relative pronoun which make the clauses feel incomplete. So these clauses must be attached to independent clauses to be part of complete sentences. So there are three types of independent clauses: adverbial, relative, and noun. On the other hand, independent clauses are free to stand by themselves. They contain a subject and a verb or predicate, express a complete thought, and do not require anything else. Examples of these clauses are: I enjoy sitting by the lake and lying down, the sunset, the teacher always comes to the class fully prepared. Okay. So some common subordinating conjunctions and relative pronouns making dependent clause are after, although, because, as if, as, before, even though, even if, in order to, since, though, until, unless, whatever, when, whenever, whether, why. Okay. Now, contractions. Here, so we use something called as an apostrophe. It's a symbol, and this has two uses. To show, the first use is to show that we have shortened words, that is, we have contracted them. The second one is to show that something is possessed by someone. Okay, that is possession. For example, that car is my dad's. So there are two types of contractions: regular and irregular. The vast majority of contractions are regular. For example, I'm going there. What we do is remove the vowel A in the am and insert an apostrophe after the letter I and before the letter M. So I am becomes I apostrophe M. Okay, so you don't say it like that, you just say I am. Similarly, he's going there, applying the same principle as above. He is going there, that is, we have removed the vowel I. Examples of irregular contractions are I'm not going there is converted into I ain't going there. Similarly, won't is an example of an irregular contraction. I won't do that work. Now, won't, remember, is the contraction for the words will not. Okay, let me write it down over here. So this is the contraction for the words will. I need to make this L a little bit longer. Okay, will not. All right. Okay. Now, parts of speech. So, words are divided into 8 different kinds of classes called as parts of speech according to the use, that is, according to the work they do in a sentence. The different parts of speech are noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. Okay. Nouns, they can be the names of a person, place, a country, a river, or anything. Okay, it also has, you know, a noun can be any emotion, or it can be a collective noun. For example, a group of anything. For example, a pride is a group of lions. Okay, so pronoun, this is used instead of a noun. Okay, so this is called as pronoun. So that's why it's called as, for example, chancellor. There is somebody called as a chancellor for an university, and his son or daughter, you know, he is the usually, I mean, these are family-run businesses. Universities are pretty much run like corporates and businesses. Even though they consider themselves not for profit. Anyways, so chancellor, the person who acts instead of him, he or she is called as a pro-chancellor. So similarly, so pronoun is a substitute for a noun. Okay, so what are the common pronouns which we use in our sentences? Okay, which brings us to something called as the first person, second person, and the third person. Okay, an easy way to remember this is all of us human beings are very selfish, and we usually think about first ourselves and our group of people. And so I and we. So these pronouns, they belong to they are called as a first person. You is somebody, somebody who is different from us. So this is the second person, and the rest of them, that is he, she, it, and they, these come under the third person. Okay, moving on to the parts of speech. Something which describes a noun or a pronoun, it's called as an adjective. Now, verb, I consider this the most important part of speech. Why? Because verbs denote action, and without action, we are as good as dead. So, that's the reason I consider verbs to be the most important parts of speech. And the next one, it's called as adverb. You guessed it right. An adverb, it describes a verb. But later we'll come to know that an adverb does not just describe a verb, it also can describe an adjective or another adverb. But for now, we can remember that an adverb, it describes a verb. For example, I drive my car fast. Okay, how do I drive my car? Drive is the verb there. And how do I drive it? I drive it fast. My brother drives his bike slowly. Okay, so how does he drive his bike? He drives it slowly. So this is, so the fast and slowly, these are the adverbs in these two sentences. Preposition. Okay, so just remember that this denotes the position of an object or a person, where he or she or the object is located. For example, above, below, in front of, behind, up, below. Okay, so something like that. Conjunction, you know these connect two words or two sentences or two clauses. Conjunctions, the most common conjunctions, there is an acronym for that. It's called as fanboys. What is it? Fanboys. Okay. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. So these are the most commonly used conjunctions. Interjections, this is the least used part of speech. And one good quality of an interjection is, even if you remove the interjection, the word, the sentence stands as it is. Okay.